Good morning, Michelle here from Halfway Homestead, and I want to show you my garden. So it has been about 2 weeks since our last garden walk, sort of. I did a garden walk last week and didn't realize until I was all finished and went to start editing that my microphone, the battery had died. And so there was absolutely no sound for about the last 3/4 of the video. So I scrapped it, and it was towards the end of the week, and I thought, it'll be okay. I will just catch it up this week. Well, there are a lot of changes that I want to show you. Right here behind me, where you can see Daisy, I did pull out all of the broccoli and cauliflower that was in there. Oop, the wind is blowing and going to blow my camera over. Okay, let me lower you down just a little. Maybe that'll make it a little bit more stable. Okay. I have planted popcorn, and the popcorn is up. I'm so excited about that. I had such a hard time getting our sweet corn to germinate. In fact, I had to plant it twice, and the second time, it took a full 14 days for that to germinate. And I don't know if it's because of the crazy weather we've been having or what, because they were brand new seeds. I don't know. I didn't have that trouble last year with corn. I even put it in a different spot this year, trying to rotate those crops. And for whatever reason, it took a very long time for it to come up, although it has come up a bit sporadically. So I'll show you that. Let's see, what other changes? The cucumbers are going bonkers. I've added on to the trellis, which I'll show you. I've been picking cucumbers almost every day. They are delicious. And then I think that is about the end of the big changes for this garden, except that everything is growing very nicely. And so let me turn the camera around and I will give you a peek of what's happening. Okay, in this first bed, I've got celery that is getting stronger and stronger each day. I was a little bit worried about that because it was so just spindly and thin stems, but it is growing and thickening very nicely. Here we've got corn and corn. I don't remember how many I put in this bed. I think maybe 35 stalks or something like that, along with the grass, but that's okay. I'll get in here and get the grass out. Then I've got my honey nuts and another cucumber over in this corner. Moving on down from the honey nut and the cucumbers, I've got my zucchini repicante, otherwise known as tromboncino. So that's going to be my zucchini replacement this year. It's growing nicely along with the grass. Over here, I've got my garlic and some carrots. I did harvest a garlic yesterday, and we had that for supper last night. It was delicious, and it was a nice big head. Beets and grass. The beets are going to come out this week, and I'll get those pickled. Good morning, Daisy. And I will probably put more beets in its place. The asparagus looking nice and fuzzy, frilly. Not much to do with that right now except try to keep the grass out. And then I've got this kale going crazy. It's about time for me to harvest kale and take another load to town to share with friends. Onions. I did pull an onion last night for dinner. It was about the size of a tennis ball and delicious. Nice and sweet. Okay, on the other side, I've got more beets and grass. Fennel. I pulled some fennel last night to use in our supper. All right, here I have my snail vines. One is growing and climbing quite nicely. The other two are just too shaded, although I still have not decided if this is, I don't think that's a snail vine. I think that's a sweet potato. I may have to move that. Oh, or I could just leave it here and let it grow in this bed. I don't know, we'll see. It's doing well except for a little bit of bug damage. I did put up my dragonflies. They're so pretty at night. It's a solar light. Cantaloupe. are growing and climbing. The bottom leaves are still looking nasty, but the top growth is looking well. So I don't know if I should just leave the nastiness on there or go ahead and try to trim it off. I'm just not sure. I've been trimming some of it off. Okay. So far, I have not seen, well, that might be a baby fruit right there. I haven't seen anything of substantial size. Let's look in here on this side. No, that might be one there. I don't know, but I'm excited. This is called Howl's Jumbo. Oh, hello, little toad. Come on in and eat some bugs. Can you get up there? You're trying. Keep going. You made it. Good job, little buddy. All right, ground cherries. And the plants on the other side have some ground cherries developing. Tomatoes, these are my Romas. They are growing like gangbusters. I probably need to come in and do a little bit more pruning, which I don't like to do a lot of pruning on my determinate tomatoes because I need those suckers to produce fruit, but I do want to make sure they have good airflow. My jalapeno pepper is kind of slow taking off, but it's pretty shaded over here, so I think it'll be all right. And then I've got basil in between, and here we go, cucumbers. They have reached the top of the trellis, and I've added some more trellising because last year they got to the top and just flopped over. And so my hope is that I can get them to grow across the top and over. I don't know if they'll reach the cattle panel or not, but that would be pretty awesome. This wind is giving me fits today. So I posted on our family chat that I was already picking cucumbers, and somebody mentioned, whoa, that's so early. Well, let me tell you, it's the variety. This variety is called Lisboa, and I can't remember where I ordered the seeds from, but I'll put it on the bottom of the screen when I'm editing. They were a little bit expensive. I think I got 5 seeds. And I want to say they were maybe $7 for those 5 seeds. I can't remember. But I love this variety for many reasons. One, look at the growth. It is just a fabulous plant. Now there are 4 vines here. And then I have one over that I planted later next to, where did I put that? Oh, next to the honey nut. They are fast producers. You can see how many cucumbers are on here, and I have been picking, well, I've picked, I think, 3 or 4 days, and they are delicious. They're also great for making pickles. I do like to pick them small. I'm not going to pick any today because this variety does have the little spiny prickles, and I don't enjoy grabbing onto that. And I am bringing gloves out with me, so I'm not going to pick any right now, but I do like to pick them small for pickle making, but if I do happen to miss one and it gets a little larger, it's still really good to eat. I did try last year to save seeds, and I was not successful. I let the cucumber mature on the vine. It got to where it was like a dark orange color and hard skin. But when I opened it up, the seeds had not matured. So I am going to try again this year, but it may be one that I just have to purchase the seeds. I don't know. We'll see. But I do recommend this variety for fresh eating and for pickling. This area of the garden is growing just as well as the raised beds. Little bit slow, but it is growing. You can see behind me, well, Sassy just fertilized the garden for me. So thank you, Sassy. Always a big help. The corn, like I said, is coming up sporadically, but it is coming. The grass is growing like gangbusters. The beans are doing well. I do need to get in here with my tiller and go between the rows, and that will help out a bunch. I have zinnias coming up and sunflowers, and to me, this is beautiful, even though it is a hot mess. We'll come on down. I put more lights in the middle. And this row right here, I know is disgusting. This is my potato row, and I'm okay with the grass coming up amongst the potatoes. It's really not that bad, but the potatoes are starting to die back, and so probably, I'm guessing probably by the 4th of July. So today is June 23rd. Happy birthday, Taylor. Today is June 23rd. So I bet we will be probably harvesting potatoes the week of the 4th. Just guessing. This end down here is dying back a lot faster. And that could be because this is kind of a low spot and we've had so much rain. But I don't know, but I'm excited for the potato harvest. It will not be enough to get us through the year. I usually run out of our fresh potatoes around December, but we eat a lot of potatoes. And so I'm okay with that. They are delicious and, you know, grown right here on our property. So they have our local nutrients, and I love that. Moving on over, let me turn you a little bit. I have my pepper row, which is getting eaten up by something. I'm not sure what. I don't see anything on the leaves. Well, there's something right there. I think that's just an ant. Something is eating up on the leaves, so I don't like to use 7 dust in my garden, but I will use things like diatomaceous earth or just soapy water, maybe a little bit of vinegar. So I'll probably come out and spray these with just some soapy water, and that will help. I have a broccoli in the middle that I am just letting go to seed. I want to collect the seeds from that. And then on the other side of the broccoli are 3 more peppers. And let's see, I have bell peppers. I have a jalapeno up in that bed. I have a jalapeno in this bed, in this row, which is a not hot jalapeno. And so you have that flavor of the jalapeno, which I love, but not the heat. I do not do the heat. I don't like that. I have Advarsky, which is a delicious red sweet pepper. And then a new one to me this year is called Pippin's Golden Honey. And I've got 3 of those. They're on the other side of the broccoli. And they are a sweet snacking pepper. So I'm excited about that because I love little snacking peppers. Then we have our tomato row. Tomatoes and beans. I'm going to take you off of the tripod so that I can show you better. So this one here at the end, I think was the free tomato that I got called a Saucy Lady. It's supposed to be a red slicer. The beans have come to the top and are reaching over. So I've been coming in and just wrapping them along this top side of the cattle panel. I'm trying to do this and film at the same time. Okay, there we go. And that way they will just continue climbing across. This will be a solid wall of beans before too long. 2 more tomatoes. I don't remember which ones these are, but they're growing very well. I did come through here in the middle where beans did not come up, and I put in some, first I did marigold seeds. They did nothing. I did some, hold the camera right. I did some zinnia seeds, and they just have not come up yet, but looks like they need to be watered. Here's a honey nut, growing very well. This one has not started blooming yet. More beans, more tomatoes, more beans, looking good. And this one is a volunteer tomato. I believe it's probably a Barry's Crazy Cherry based on what the trusses look like. Look at all those blooms. Barry's Crazy Cherry is a little yellow tomato, and they are so sweet and so good. And then I have my Bush Goliath here at the end. On the other side, I had come through and I had put in marigold seeds. Not a one of them came up, but those are seeds I had saved, so I think I'm going to have to just throw them out, what I have left. And I just went ahead and put hay in, or not hay, but straw in there to help with moisture control and weeds. Here's a good look at the garden. Oh, I forgot to show you, this right here is a volunteer sunflower, and it is now taller than me. Okay. So, oh no. Well, that was a yellow squash. That is so sad. I came out here yesterday and it was fine. Well, stinkeroni. I'm glad I planted 3 of them. Okay, so I have 2 yellow squash. I have 2 okras, and then a row of zinnias. These are my Muskegee pumpkins, and I need to reroute some of those vines so that they're not climbing into the beans. A few volunteer tomatoes coming up in there. This one is a Blue Hubbard. I planted this one later than I did the Muskegee, so that's one reason it's a bit smaller. And then this was supposed to be a birdhouse gourd. And I'm wondering if, because I know what a sunflower seed looks like as opposed to a birdhouse gourd seed. So I bet the birdhouse gourd just did not come up, and I bet that's a volunteer sunflower. I know it's a sunflower, but I also know I did not plant one there. Okay. Beans are a bit sporadic in places, but that's okay. And then down to the onion row, and we're back to the raised beds. I think I didn't show you the sweet potatoes. So down here, Riley has 2 tubs of potatoes. Oh, look, Riley, they're blooming. So Riley is our son's girlfriend, who we adore. And they live in a tiny apartment. So actually those yellow squash, some of the bell peppers, and these 2 tubs of potatoes, and then she has 2 tubs of sweet potatoes here at our place. And the rest of the sweet potatoes. Some of these slips I purchased, some of them I started myself. I want to go ahead and show you my raspberries. They're growing quite nicely and putting on some blooms. That's exciting. And then if I come around on this side, I have the raspberries I've had here for, I think I planted these 4 years ago. They have struggled. I'm not sure why. And then I have my tame blackberries. Oh, there's one that's turning black. Let me get on that other side. Look at how many blackberries. And I love that these are thornless. I do love picking blackberries anyway, but I like that these are thornless. There's one ripening right there. All right, it's not quite ripe yet. And what I'll do is I'll wait until that berry is completely black and dull, a dull finish to it. That's when it's actually ready. But I love my berry patch. There's daisy in the road and my apple trees. I have 4 apple trees, and I have 4 peach trees. And I believe my pear trees didn't make it. I love this view. I love to stand at my kitchen window and look out and see everything just so green and lush and growing. So beautiful, and I'm so thankful. So one other thing I want, well, not one other thing, but something else I want to show you. We did plant some redbud trees here along the edge. And those are just from sprouts that have come up in the yard. Just moved them. Mexican sunflowers coming up in my tire. And then along this row, next to the road, I have planted two new things. And I can't remember if I've showed you this in a video before or not. This is, get my shadow out of the way, that's a crepe myrtle. I have wanted a crepe myrtle for so many years, and somebody gifted our neighbor a bunch, and she let me have one. So that was so sweet of her. Thank you, Rhonda. And then a fig tree. So super cute. I bought that when I went to a fall festival at Baker Creek, and Kelsey and I each bought one because I think they were like 2 for 1 price. I can't remember for sure, but we bought those, and sadly Kelsey's didn't make it. Mine I kept in the house for over a year, so it's very stunted. And then I want to show you this flower bed. This is pretty much just a wildflower patch next to the road. But early spring, this is full of irises and hyacinths and peonies. And then the wildflowers come up. And aren't these gorgeous? I love them. I would love to get in here and do some weeding. But, oh, and look, there's some lilies going to bloom. I don't know what's weeds and what might be a potential wildflower. So I just let it go. I just think this is so pretty. Okay, here we have our circle drive flower bed, and there is something exciting I want to show you on the other side. Something that is blooming for the first time. It is my, let's see, it's called Rudbeckia or something like that. And I know the sun is glaring and I'm so sorry, but isn't that pretty? So up the road is a stone house that was built in the early 1900s, I believe, and littered throughout my property and the neighbors around us are these stones that were supposedly left behind from building that house, because they took them from a quarry somewhere, not far from here. I don't know what this plant is, but it's pretty. And there's my chamomile and my zinnias. And this, anyway, you can find these stones like out in the woods. And I'm guessing that the previous owner probably put that in the flower bed. But then there's one here outside of that flower bed. And I have just kind of planted around it. I think they're so pretty. And I love the history of that. All right, now we're up at the house. I still have not planted my torch lily. I need to get that done. My green stalk is up there just looking so grand, so beautiful. I'd like to have some more green stalks, but they are pricey. I bought that one on a 2 for 1 sale, and I gave my mom the other one. So my mint and geraniums. Hi, Daisy. Good morning, Daisy. And my hollyhocks are so pretty. Hi, Sassy. Do you want your time on camera? Hi, baby. She's ready for her bowl of milk. So beautiful. All right, we're going to go up on the porch. I want to show you something up there. Okay, here's up on the front porch. The chamomile is finally starting to grow. And so exciting, this this strawberry plant put off a runner. And so I had put a little nursery pot, used clothespins to attach it to the side of the pot with some soil in it, and tried to root that little strawberry baby. And I have moved it over here because yesterday in this horrible heat we've been having, it was really wilty. So I moved it over here, gave it some water, and hopefully I'll be able to propagate a baby strawberry plant. Here's my other strawberries. This time, good grief, has grown like crazy. I've already cut it down once and dehydrated that, and it's time to do it again. Daisy, hello, baby. She's like, don't put the camera on me. I'm ready for a snack and a bowl of milk. And the green stalk, everything's looking beautiful. Hi, Sassy. So friends, thank you for hanging out with me in my garden this morning. I hope you have a beautiful day, a blessed day. Be a blessing to somebody else. I'm going to put the camera away. I'm going to put my hair in a ponytail, and I'm going to start working. I've got some cucumbers to harvest. I've got grass to pull, and I need to do some watering. We have had so much rain in this early spring, or in this spring and early summer, but now we have a week and a half of 90-degree plus temperatures, and things in the pots are drying out really fast. So I need to get all of those pots watered. Probably, well, I'll check the raised beds. If they need water, I'll water those. But anyway, I hope you guys have a beautiful day and happy gardening.